Providing children with plenty of writing opportunities is one sure way to build up their writing skill set, their competence and confidence. As we all know, a skill needs to be practiced to make it strong, and free writing provides that regular practice. And you know what? It eventually becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, self-propelling. The more often they write, the better writers they become, and the better they write, the more they want to write, and so it goes on and on. Free writing is a strategy to building up and improving children's writing skills. Most analysts would agree that children just don't write regularly enough. So, setting up a free writing routine in a classroom is just one of the many essential jobs that must feature on every teacher's September to-do list. As we know, for any routine, structure or programme to be at its most effective, it is imperative that it is set up properly from the very beginning. Now, this cannot be overemphasised, and I must say that it is something which I always remind any NQT that I am mentoring in September when I go into them first. The importance of setting up good structured routines from the beginning just cannot be overstated. It is simply good practice. As they say, tu sma la na hibra. So how do you go about setting up a free writing routine that is effective, that supports the students' writing development so that over time it becomes automatic to the work of the classroom, something that they engage in as a task independently and freely, and more importantly, willingly and with relish? Well, I always begin by explaining clearly to the students what free writing is. Now, this happens regardless of whether they are in infants or whether they are in 6th class. So, what is it? For me, free writing is writing that they do independently. It is writing where they are free to choose the genre in which they wish to write on a particular day at a particular time, and it is where they will write for a set period of time. This writing is in a copy that is set aside completely and solely for free writing. It is exclusively for free writing. This copy will fill up over time with all sorts of narratives, arguments, diary entries, poems, comic strips, biographies, autobiographies, you name it. Once I've gone through this, I will then discuss with the children how they feel about free writing. Now, this is incredibly important. When you get your class in September, it is so important that you talk to them and engage with them and see where they're at with their free writing. What do they like about it? What do they find difficult? Now, invariably, a child will always admit to finding it difficult to choose what to write on occasions. They find it hard to get started. Now, here I have my springboard to drawing up a topic tree. Now, a topic tree is an essential item to be on display in every classroom. I firmly believe that it is incredibly unfair to expect any child to just do a piece of free writing without some ideas, some stimulus to inspire them, to help and to guide them. Yes, the creative Clarences and the clever Claras will have no problem pouring out their thoughts and ideas onto paper. They'll be off down that page without a sideward glance once instructed by the teacher that they are to do free writing now. However, it is pretty essential for the majority to have a stimulus. So how do we draw up a topic tree? Well, simply brainstorm with the children all the things that they could possibly write about. You will find that the children will come up with lots of ideas themselves. Then you as teacher, with the class as a shared activity, you compile this list on the whiteboard and the children can record it in the back of their free writing copies. Now, however, for the topic tree to be displayed, you will need to type up the list. You'll need to cut out each idea in the shape of a leaf because it is going to be a tree. Once this is done, you can display the leaves. So how do you do this? You can get a child if you're in a senior class, or you can do it yourself. So you draw a tree trunk on brown sugar paper and cut it out. Then draw branches coming out from the tree on the same paper, cut them out and arrange them into the shape of the top of the tree on your display board in your literacy section. And then around this, you display your leaves, and it's very important that they are clearly typed and obviously that the print is large enough for the children to read. There's no point in ever having anything on our boards, our notice boards, that children are unable to read if the print is too small. So when you're done, there's your topic tree. It's nicely arranged on your English display board, and it's there for all the children in your class. It's there for them to source ideas and inspiration. So what does this do? Well, it eliminates the sucking on the pencil tops for ideas and the chorus that can sometimes come from the class of, teacher, I don't know what to write about. And then your time is gone coming up with ideas over and over again. So they have the topic tree there. It's a reference for them, a guide, a support. So why not put a list of maybe 100, 150 topics or ideas up on that topic tree from which they can draw inspiration. Of course, it goes without saying that you must ensure that all genre of writing are represented in your topic tree, both fiction and non-fiction, and that there are lots of ideas on all the leaves. Some easy ones maybe, like My Granny, to the more creative such as Animal Talk, to factual items such as tooth decay, the digestive system, pieces of explanation writing, perhaps reflecting what you're doing in SESE. So at all times, the tree is there and it must be in full bloom at all times, so to speak. Autumn doesn't come. It's not a deciduous tree where some leaves fall off. Your tree must be in full bloom. So then when children are doing their free writing, it is again very important to tell them that they must vary the genre or type of writing that they do. If not, I find that you may get any number of comic strips or posters, things like that they might find easier. It is very important as well to say that whilst this is free writing, now it is not a free for all. Though teachers are not to correct free writing, as in you don't take out your red biro and go through it, it is very fair to say that like anything that is effective in a classroom, the teacher must lead and guide and ensure that the children are doing their best. So it's not a free for all where they just work and you do something else, and sometimes then children don't put their best efforts into it. Personally, I use free writing as an opportunity to conference with the children. So while everybody is writing, I try to meet with at least maybe 2-3 children individually to discuss their writing and their ideas. So what do? Well, we talk about their writing. I like to use 2 stars and a wish. So I read their writing with them, they read it, we read it together, and then we discuss it. And I will provide little feedback comments, 2 positive comments and perhaps 1 that encourages improvement using the 2 stars and wish approach. So the improvement might be on a spelling rule, it might be on a point of grammar, use of adjectives, whatever pops out. You're providing a pointer to an improvement. So free writing as an approach to writing skills development, well, it's highly recommended. And I assure you that after 6 weeks of regular writing, every second day perhaps in school and at home on the intervening days, that copy will begin to fill up. But that's not what's important. What is important is that you will see a growing improvement as you flick through it. You'll see a trail of growth as you skim those copies from the first page to the page that they are currently writing on. You'll also see that they will enjoy it, and you will too, as you review and feedback on their writing across a wide variety of interesting topics, prompted and helped along by that topic tree. Give it a go. It is a valuable and effective approach, and be sure to embrace it with your class.